How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, all.
And Skyler from Woodworking.
Hi, everyone.
Yep. So if I'm freezing, I'm sorry, guys. Man, it's been a struggle. But, so Skyler, I want to say congratulations. I saw you hit, what is it, 1.7 million?
I don't know.
7.1 million views.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
thank you. I saw Steve is coming close to the 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Did you make room on the wall for your big plaque?
Well, so these numbers I showed you, I'm actually going to put my score back there someplace, more because I want to make a sign than say, hey, well, look at me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. No, they'll
That's
send
a
me
big
a plaque.
mark.
If I get to 100,000, they'll send me a plaque.
Yep. You got to make space on the wall for that.
Yeah. It's, what's frustrating is when I look at analytics in YouTube, like 65% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, right? So
I think that's typical for anyone.
Yeah, it's probably pretty typical, but it's like, why won't you guys just click that subscribe button? And I mean,
I know. I feel so weird. I've never asked people to subscribe. I'm like, they're always like, you should ask people to subscribe, to like, to comment. I'm like, I can't do that. They know what to do if they want to.
Yeah, I do it once in a while, not too often.
I think the biggest difference as a non-YouTuber, just as a person watching YouTube, they don't realize like what's the big deal. You know?
Well, the thing is, subscribers from the grand scheme of analytics don't matter at all, right?
No.
It used to back in the early days. It's a vanity number, but it does impact the kind of companies that approach you.
Yes,
right.
I'd say that's the only real reason.
I remember when I reached out to SawStop, asked them if they want to send me a table saw, and they were like, you need to have 100,000 subscribers for that. Call us back when you have that.
Oh, wow. How about
it is kind of a magic number. I mean, but the thing is, what really matters, especially to companies, is not subscribers; it's views and view time, right? Like, I mean, I only have like 4.5 million views.
Yeah, for them, I think it's like the call to action. They call it. So it's like people that are likely to push the like button, comment, subscribe. Those are the people that are likely to click on a link, purchase something.
Yeah.
Yeah, collectively from all my social medias, I get over 1 million views a month. So 1.1 to 1.15. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So Chris said, good day from Good Down Under. Hello, Chris, a loyal watcher. Good day. Tony, hey. Tony has done it again. You guys remember that song?
No, I'm not that old.
It was a good song. Santa's latest engraving. I see he was posting on the Facebook group. He was having some problems with a 3D print. Do you see that crack?
Yes, I responded to him. I think so he's using carbon fiber, PLA, which I believe has the same similar characteristics to ABS, right? So it shrinks fairly significantly. And if you have maybe like two perimeters, it's probably not strong enough to hold it together. So I think if you went 3 or 4 perimeters and maybe increase the infill from 15% up to maybe 25, he'd be probably in better shape.
Yeah. I think when you start getting to some of those just crazy filaments, like you're just going to be problematic. You definitely got to get some dialed in settings.
Yeah, well, a lot of it depends on the printer too, right? Like he doesn't have a temperature controlled chamber on his printer, so there's no way he could print ABS. Like it would just curl right off the bed, no matter how hot the bed is. It's just how it is, right? And I think carbon fiber probably has the same kind of properties. So if he prints something and lets it cool down to room temperature before touching it off the bed, I think that'll probably help. But definitely,
Yeah, because he said it printed fine, and it was 3 days later it did that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. To me, that was also maybe it was a moisture issue or something too. But the fact that
once it's printed, it should be okay.
Yeah, but it didn't happen immediately. It was days later, which had kind of made me think moisture, something.
Yeah, no, it normally won't absorb much water after it's printed.
I don't know. Goofy. Mick Phil said hello from South Carolina. Hello. Skylar, people are glad to see you. They're saying hello.
Hi. I didn't post this live stream thingy until about an hour ago. I completely forgot. And then I didn't know how to do it. I went to the live stream. I was like, I can't remember. I know Rick told me like 10 times.
Did you get it?
I think I did. I mean, I don't know. I did something.
I do that. I do that panic almost every week.
Said hello, Dennis in West Virginia. Hello, Dennis. Thanks for joining us. Oh, looks like you got a new subscriber, Skylar.
Well, thank you.
ABT Marketing said hello, everyone. Hello. Thanks for joining. If anyone has any questions, let us know. And I appreciate everyone checking in and let us know where you're joining from. So, Skylar, earlier you were saying how much snow you had, and Lowe's was very kind to send me this extremely large.
I saw your review.
blower.
I watched it with no snow on the ground.
Yes. They got very aggressive with me and said they'd kick me out of the program if I did do the review. And I said, I haven't had more than 2 inches of snow since I've got.
You should have some sunglasses, a sun hat.
I was talking to Jim Hamilton this morning, and he said yesterday it was like 70 degrees at his place. So
yeah, I was like, it's not that I'm not trying. I just did. How am I supposed to do a review? I mean, I was in a short sleeve today, so it's been pretty nice. But Chicago weather is so weird, just all over the place.
Yeah, I used to live in Chicago. So
I was looking at my Facebook memories. One year on this time of year, I was on a snowmobile, and we went hours away. And then like another year, I was out riding my Harley, and I was like, "There's just something wrong with this," But yeah.
Oh, yeah. This time it's usually around now when I can look in my flower bed and see daffodils poking out, but not this year. It's been we don't have a lot of snow. We're really one warm day away from grass again, but it's not.
We had a lot of really low temperatures too. Like today was 40, and that's the warmest it's been for months.
Yeah, it's because you're probably further away from the ocean than I am.
Yeah. David said, good evening from South Milwaukee. Hello. Thanks for joining.
Hey, David.
Chris said, Steve needs 4.6K to qualify for a saw stop. Laugh out loud.
But I already have a saw stop, and I don't have room for another one.
How much are they?
$6
grand.
Yeah, $6 grand, depending on what you get.
Yeah, the one I asked for was the small contractor one, just because I wanted to keep it separate, just with the dado stack on it the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. See, they're going to be regretting their words now. Derek Smiley Woodwork said, afternoon from the great state of Idaho.
Hi, Derek.
Sorry. Hello. This one's funny. Big fork. I know.
Fork.
But you think if you're gonna pronounce it messed up, it'd be hilarious. Hi from Big Fork, Montana. Hello. All right, Sky. Looks like you have a question.
Doesn't look like a question, but thank you. Yes, I don't know what multi-layer video.
Is it the one you just published?
The one with the wood, the different colors.
Like
maybe the box with the diamond shape.
Well, those were nice too.
The napkin, not napkin. What are they called?
Tissue.
Tissue
Maybe,
box.
I don't know.
It's way too fancy to use.
That's super cool.
I have a roll of paper towel over here.
I've been secretly looking through your Etsy and looking at the crosses to see if there's one close to that green one that I have already.
I have not made any in a long time. I have I think I have like 30 of them that I poured. I just need to like send them and finish them. I just didn't have time. I have some that I poured last Christmas and I still did not finish.
So if you have a green one, let me know.
I know you had the red wood with the green epoxy.
Yeah, super nice.
Those are nice.
All right, Steve, you want to take this?
Oh, speak of the devil, it's Santa. I think with all the information I got from everyone here, I'm going to have to build an enclosure. Yeah. I assume that, oh, it's PET GCF. Yeah, I guess it might move around too. Yeah. So PET G does kind of expand, and it has a bit of shrinkage too. So yeah, an enclosure is what you want, and ideally you put some kind of heat in it so that you can control the temperature.
Yeah.
Heat and ventilation. Or, and this will sound bad, either sell the 3D printer you have and buy a Bambu H series, or keep that one for making your smalls and get a Bambu H, because they have temperature control chambers in them. Now I don't know if they turn them on for CF, but the fact that it's enclosed is probably enough. So try an enclosure first.
Now, here is a question. I don't have a 3D printer, so I don't know. So this could be a very stupid question. Does 3D printers produce any fumes? Do you need to like put out the fumes through the window like a laser?
So only if you're printing ABS or ASA.
So it's the filament.
Yeah.
And like the Bambus, they do have a charcoal filter or some type of canister type filter that's supposed to filter out. But at the end of the day, just like anything we say with a laser, right? If the fumes are toxic, it should be externally vented.
Right.
Yeah. ABS is not good. Now, most people don't print ABS or ASA anyway, but PLA and PET G are fine.
But I will say this: I have an air filter, like a pretty high end one, and when I print, it changes the room. It checks the room environment, like whatever. It somehow tests the air. It'll go from 100% down to 87, 90. So it is detecting something in the air. I haven't smelt anything, but that doesn't mean that there isn't still fumes in the air, so to speak.
So it has a particulate detector in it, probably looking for things bigger than 10 microns.
Yeah, and I generally print everything in PET G, but so it's not something like ABS or something like that, but it is detecting something in the air. But I've never had a bad smell, headaches, anything like that to my knowledge. It's harming me in any sort of way. But that machine is detecting something is in the air. So we are bad friends to have. So I would say that soon enough you'll have one, Skyler. That's if Bambu Lab doesn't send you one.
When are you getting your Onefinity?
They said like beginning of April.
Nice.
February, March, April.
So did you end up going with the red line or the PWN CNC?
I ended up with the red line. I got the generation 2 of the Elite. I got the Woodworker just because of the footprint. I could not fit a 4x4. And I got whatever the red line controller comes with.
Nice.
And I got the table from them too. I was like, yeah, I have a table. It's sitting here, but I just got theirs.
I'm excited for you. For you.
Yeah.
I've been trying to learn VCarve Pro, so I've been spending my evenings on the computer.
Well, there's lots of help around for that. So,
Wade Customs 3025 said they had to build 1,000 pulleys from wood too. Not sure what that's reference to.
1,000. Oh no, it was about the previous thing here about this building a 73-foot schooner. Did you look at that? That was the first part of that message.
Oh, I must have missed it. Go ahead.
The wildest woodworking thing that has happened to me is I walked into a building looking to buy some pine, and Buddy and his wife were building a 73-foot schooner. He must be an East Coast guy.
What's a schooner?
They had to build 1,000 pulleys. See, that's a perfect example of why you want a wood lathe.
What's a schooner?
A boat.
Oh,
It's a 3-mast ship. 3 masts, I think.
ABT
No, it's a
Marketing.
1-mast.
I'm grateful for moving to South Carolina 5 years ago from Chicago area, where I was raised and lived there for over 40 years.
Yeah, the weather in South Carolina is nicer, except during hurricane season, of course.
Yeah. Tony said Cleveland's up to 4 inches. I'm assuming you're saying that's snow.
The daffodils, the flowers are up. Yeah, they're usually up here. Like, we have a bit of a microclimate here, and especially right where I live. Like, you go 10 miles each direction, and the weather's quite different. But not this year.
Okay, so this is a topic I'm sure that's going to be in about 2 weeks, like nonstop. Skyler, you want to take this one?
Craft show time is approaching. Gonna do coaster. Jim, what material, cork, slate, or ceramic sells the best? I've tried to sell coasters. I never made them out of wood, cork. I didn't engrave them. I tried to do the UV printed ones. And the last craft show I went to, I brought a whole bunch of them. And I had designs with hummingbird photos that I took, chipmunk photos. I had some crazy chicken kind of clip art. The chickens ones, they all sold. Everything else did not sell. So I eventually just gave them with orders, 1 coaster on each order, and got rid of them.
Yeah,
I would not take Steve's advice because he's big into selling coasters, and he'll try to convince you not to sell them.
No, I was about to encourage Tim because he's got an X-Tool apparel printer. So Tim, you've already got the right tool for it. Don't make those Toronto Maple Leaf coasters like the one I gave you, though, because you'll never sell any of those. Nobody likes the Leafs.
Roger's the coaster king, but he's not here with us today. But I sell coasters hit or miss. Absolutely nothing, and then 200. Absolutely nothing, and then 50.
The thing is, with coasters at craft shows, at craft fairs, there's going to be tons of people there with the same laser engraved coasters, and that's a problem, right? That's why I was suggesting, Tim, look at your DTF, and they work really well. They stick on pretty well.
Coaster sales with me have been business to business.
Yeah,
with just companies with their logos.
Anytime I do that, it's the same thing. I don't make a lot of coasters, but I get trapped every now and again.
Yeah.
I had some on my website, on my Etsy, and then I took them down. I'm like, I'm not posting them anymore. They're just bringing my stats down.
Jeez, where are you? Because, we're neighbors.
Sure. Rick, ever heard of Blue Nose? As in pit bulls?
As in the ship?
No.
Oh, you got to come to Nova Scotia, man. You can see it in the harbor. You can, back in the 20s, I think, 20s or 30s, it won the America's Cup.
Well, I'm definitely younger than you, so I wasn't around in the 20s.
Well, neither was I. Neither were my parents, just so you know.
I'm just kidding. Rick said, greetings from Fish Lake, Indiana. Hello, hello.
Fish Lake is becoming a standard spot for Wednesday nights.
Yes. You want to take this, Steve?
Jim says, hello from Chicago. Steve just, he's telling me he just sold 200 more coasters at a restaurant where he was having dinner tonight. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Jim today about glass engraving, and he's coming to the conclusion that I came to probably a year sooner than he did, which is stay away from glass.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we've had the conversations over the past is restaurants are using the cheapest glass they can get, and there's not always great consistency in the quality of the glass itself.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if you go to like restaurant supply places to buy glassware, it's going to be the same as what
Yeah,
the
no, agree.
restaurants use, right?
It's no
cheap.
different than dollar store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same stuff because they go through probably 10 of them every day, right? They break them.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just like if you're engraving a logo on the bottom of a glass or something, maybe, but wine glasses, and Jim was telling me about the wine glasses he's been using, which have, I mean, they're obviously round because they're wine glasses, but they also have a curve up the glass because they're wine glasses, right? And you're fighting two angles, and man, it's just a problem, especially with a UV laser, which is the only thing you can really engrave glass with. So
Chris said, if you do coasters, do them all, but feature which ones nearby stalls are not doing. Yeah.
It's the downside of laser engraving is when you go to a craft market, everybody's got one now, right? Because they're basically, for a while there, they were practically free, so people bought them by the handfuls.
I'd probably make more money unloading all the coasters I bought when they were cheaper before the tariffs. I think I still have like 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
I got them so cheap.
Jim's actually buying his from some place in Canada. Some big coaster retail or wholesale place.
Yeah, mine was the Alibaba special.
Tim says he's going to make Team Canada Olympic gold coasters.
Confident in the gold comment. Looks like you're up, Skyler.
Hello, Skyler. Do you have plans for making your 35 inches cross? Yes, I will post it tomorrow. So check out on my website tomorrow. I'll put it up.
Crosses are amazing. I own 2 of them, and I'm asking to buy a 3rd. So I think the hardest decision was I couldn't decide, so I just got 2. Tim said, Chris, I have no combo in my area with anything we make. Competition, I'm assuming, yeah. Trade shows are just hit or miss, right? And I think that a lot of the ones that are like every year, people kind of become like a staple. They're known to come to those.
I only do one now, like every year, just because it is my kids' school, so I help the school and stuff. But other than that, I don't do it anymore. Last year or 2 years ago, I did a craft show every 2 weeks. Learned a lot from it, and also decided not to do it again.
So from purely financial, was it not worth it?
It was not worth it. I would go there, spend all day, spend the day before that packing everything. You go to the craft show, you make your sales or whatever. Then the next day you have to unpack, you have to do your inventory. Since I'm selling on my website and Etsy, had to make sure that I remove them from the website and the Etsy shop, everything I sold. And in the end, I think I was making more money what I was selling online versus what I sold at the craft show for those 2 days, 2-3 days.
So did you walk away with any customers who didn't buy anything but circled back, bought something after the fact? Or was not?
I did. I had a few people that got a business card, and then they emailed me. They said like, "Oh, I saw you at this show and stuff. I want to buy a cheese board or something." It was nothing big, but there were a few people. Yeah. I think the most useful thing that I got from craft show, it's seeing people's expression and trying to read them. They look at your tables. I always bought 2 spots, so I had 2 big tables, and you see what they're looking at. You see what they like, what they don't like. Maybe they don't buy anything, but exactly what they loved. So then those would be good sellers. Maybe they couldn't afford it, but somebody else will buy it. Yeah. And I had a few pieces where people were just like, you see them just walk by, like not even looking, almost, and they stop and be like, "Ooh, that's interesting." And they might not buy it, but they stop, and that just tells me so much about that. So I just learned kind of what sells, what doesn't, what people are looking for, what people couldn't care less about. And that was very, very useful.
Good feedback.
That's the big benefit for craft markets, right?
Like cheese slicers. I had cheese slicers with the same hardware, but some were silver, some were black hardware. Nobody likes the silver hardware. I don't think I sold 1 or 2 of those. Everybody wants black. Some person at the craft show asked me if I can swap the hardware because really like this design of the wood, but does not want the silver, wants the black one. So.
Yeah, but it's just a good place to get known, right? And especially woodworking, because like fine woodworking, the kind of stuff you do, as opposed to, you know, somebody who can make a chair. People will remember, right, when they say, "Oh, I want to hang something on the wall," and I remember seeing this thing, right? And if you have cards handy or something, they can.
Yeah. This year, when I did the craft show, I sold a ton of cutting boards, which I never sold at craft show before. But it just so happened that this particular craft show used to be this guy. He would sell cutting boards for cheap, for $40, so just like a few stripes of different colors. And he was doing this craft show for over 20 years. So every year he was there. He had his table right at the entrance, selling a ton of cutting boards. Well, it turns out that the poor guy, his shop burned down in the beginning of the year. And so he does not have a shop, so he has not come to the craft show. So then I sold out of all my cutting boards because he was not there.
Where were you the night of the fire?
Eliminating the competition.
I'm just kidding. Steve, do you know where that blank place is in Canada?
Jim actually answered it a couple lines down. It's Coaster Factory.
Okay.
Oddly enough, what a place to buy coasters. They do a lot of things for weddings and stuff too. But
Wade, I put stuff in stores and pay consignment. I hate settling at craft shows. I've seen more and more of these places popping up. There's one about 40 minutes east of me. I was thinking about trying it because it was $100 a month. I was just concerned about putting anything of real value of the theft because they ring it out, they charge it, they pay the taxes, they do all that. I just wasn't sure, so I figured for $100, maybe I'd give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah, Wade, you didn't say where in NS you are. I'm wondering how close we are.
Have you guys done that? Put anything at consignment shops or anything like that?
The ones that are around me, they do not take a flat fee per month. They want a percentage, and I was not in approval with their percentage, so no.
Yeah, I don't make enough of any one thing to put them in consignment. It's all custom, so.
You're up, Steve.
Hey, Velf. Hey, friends. Thoughts on Creality Filament Maker and Shredder? So on the 25th, my Creality Filament Maker video will go live. As far as, so I was talking to the Creality guys a week ago, and I said, how many of these things do you have out to YouTubers? And the guy goes, he puts his finger up. I said, like one other one? He said, no, yours. I went, wow. So as far as I know, I have the only one out there, which is kind of cool. Cool. I don't have the shredder yet. They're going to send it to me when they have one. But the filament maker works. It makes filament. It's still pretty. There's some software updates I've requested to make particularly the diameter more accurate. It's pretty good, but it really needs to be solid, particularly for Bambu printers because they're really picky about diameter. But yeah, it works, and I made color filament, and I'll make some more.
To me, my thing is the only way I would ever think that it'd be worth purchasing or you'd want to purchase something is if you were making custom products for customers who want that print logo Pacific color. Like I don't want this royal blue. I want that exact.
That's my
green.
use case.
That green. I want that exact green or orange. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my use case for it. Which when I told them, they seemed a little shocked. like as far as recycling, I mean, sure, I'll recycle only because that filament becomes essentially half price, because you still need to put PLA, like fresh PLA beads in, about 50-50. But so that makes a roll, less than $10, right? So it's worth it. So plus you're keeping it out of garbage, and because here I can't recycle PLA plastic or any 3D printed plastic, which I think is crazy. But
I just think as in the shop, we have all these different tools we're using. We're using lasers, CNCs. I mean, we're doing woodworking. We're doing artwork. I mean, just creating my own filament when I can just go to Amazon, being lazy, and it's here tomorrow by 4:00. Unless I really needed to do, unless there was a need to do it, I wouldn't.
But by contrast, you could have it in an hour, right?
Yeah, but I just wouldn't.
Or if you only needed 100 grams of something, you could just make a small bit. You don't need a whole roll, especially with custom colors.
Yeah, no, I'm saying other than wanting a custom color, I really wouldn't see, but a custom color, you really had no choice. Like, I know.
I'll recycle because I do a lot of prototyping stuff, and you go through just a ton of stuff where you make something and it screws up, or you make something and then you show it to the customer and they go, oh, it's not quite right. I want a millimeter off over here. So you got to print it again. And it's just ongoing. So, I mean, I'll make a whole bag of garbage sometimes doing a prototype, right? So I'll use it for that for sure. But for me, the real use case is, you want, Pantone, whatever color. Yeah, I can make that, right? Now, making colors it's a science. It's an art. It's not science, right? Like it's a 3 grains of this color and 3 grains of that color, and you get the actual color you want. But as of today, I now have a scale that can measure down to a half to 5/1000ths of a gram, because you're putting, like, if you're making a kilogram, you're only using 10 to 20 grams of color in there. And if you're mixing, all of a sudden it's not 10 grams, it's 1.3 grams, right? So you need a good accurate scale for it.
So becoming somewhat of a chemist.
A magician is more likely, is more like, I mean, if you understand the color wheel, you can get by, but it's just an art form. Like the first time I looked at it, I went, oh, you want to make purple, you take half red and half blue. And I mixed it and I ended up with something that was exceedingly dark. And there's another option there, which is how much of each do you put, right? Equal amounts, but how much of each? And that controls the lightness of it. So once I started playing with it, I was able to make dark green and translucent green, which I thought was kind of cool. And then you can also do gradients as well.
Skyler, do you want to take this one?
I'm not sure what that means. Do you guys ever make a manger for Christmas holidays? Or?
Manger.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's a famous Christmas thing. Born in a manger.
I guess I don't.
It's a little barn is what it is.
Oh no, I have never made one.
I don't. My
like
wife
a nativity scene with Jesus in it.
Decorator.
Nativity scene with Jesus in it. Yeah.
That's usually what it is. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll make one next Christmas then.
There you go.
It's made of wood.
So we have items at our local museum. Not sure what that's for.
Some of your items, Tim?
I'm not sure.
I'm not old enough to have anything in a museum.
This is Alberta, Canada, Steve.
Oh, you're closer to me than he is.
Oh.
But welcome.
Oh, Steve, you're up.
Dolph says he's excited to see that video. He put put my deposit down. Oh, did you use my code at least? Actually, I don't even think it's an affiliate code. It's just a thing that points at their Indiegogo funding page.
Chris said a friend went consignment, couldn't keep up with the help with overflow, had to pull it now just word of mouth. I mean, I guess that's kind of a good problem to have, right? If you literally are. Yeah. I just wanted to see how it goes, put it out there. But I think part of it was also what Skyler said is that you're kind of seeing what is rejected. Like that feedback is, and that's worth paying, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good market demographics, right?
Yeah.
But that's also very regional.
Right. What doesn't sell locally might go wild online because you're reaching to so much bigger audience.
Yeah. Although you're in Maine, so it's probably like here in Nova Scotia, it's very artsy, right? And there's lots of these little craft places around. So
yeah.
Dwayne said small crowd tonight. Well, we definitely got the majority of our regulars.
It's a quiet crowd. Not
yeah,
the same number online.
Yeah, but appreciate everyone dropping in for sure, and let us know if you have any questions. All right, Steve, go ahead.
Well, I have the next one too. Wow. Chris says, I wish filament makers would show PMS color codes. Yeah, I think that's coming. I think, I think it's safe to say that if Creality gets any traction with their filament recycling and manufacturing stuff, they're not going to be alone there. But until this came out, the only other one that I've seen that was kind of a commercial one, I won't even say for home use, was the 3D EV one, 3D Dev, whatever it is, which looks very similar to the Creality one, but it starts at like $6,000 US. Like it's not cheap. So that one is really kind of more for prototyping in small company type environment rather than, I got a bunch of scrap and I want to shred it and make it into new filament again.
I thought it was funny when anyone I asked, hey, do you save the 3D poop? And everyone I asked said yes. And I said, what'd you make out of this? I don't know. I'm still saving it.
Stuffed cushions.
But I just thought it was funny. Everyone I asked said they saved it.
Yeah.
Red Dewey said he wanted to see that coaster.
I save it.
He wanted to see that coaster the Steve's makes everything coaster.
Yeah. So these are, it's a standard core coaster, but this is a DTF print, which is pressed on there. These work really well. And the nice thing is you get high resolution graphics and full color. And they're very durable because the DTF, when you press it on there, is kind of like a rubber coating. And they're basically indestructible.
It's like Veld Creation says, basically, pretty much what you're saying. He's using prototype stuff. I print a lot of stuff back to back for videos. They have no use for the prints. I'm interested in if I can recycle the material. It's literally just used for the video.
Yeah. Now the thing is, unless you have to make sure you don't mix different filament types. So like if you have PETG, don't mix it with PLA because you'll have this filament that wants to break apart on its own, right?
So the Bambu Lab, if you're watching this, Skyler doesn't have a 3D printer.
I don't want one. To be clear.
If you do want one, Skyler, let me know. I have a contact.
Yeah, she wants one.
I don't.
You know what I like about the 3D printer, Skyler, is that everything we use, we have to kind of babysit. There's nothing in our shop that you can completely leave your home. A 3D printer, you can.
CNC is pretty close, but 3D printers are. What's the worst that happens? You get a big clog of plastic, right?
Yeah, you can literally set something for 3 days and just go, whatever.
Yeah. Now the downside of 3D printing is you could well have to let something sit for 3 days.
Yes, it is so slow. Instant gratification is not a 3D.
Not the game.
No.
Yeah.
Even a Bambu nice printer is still so slow.
Well, so the thing is, the 3D printers, modern 3D printers, are a lot faster than my very first 3D printer. The top speed on that thing was about 60 millimeters a second. New ones are 600, so they're quite a bit faster.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of at the limit of physics for current 3D printer design, so it's not going to get a lot faster, but they're definitely faster than they used to be.
So Chris said, "I'm old enough. I'm old enough to be in a museum exhibit." There you go. Nice one.
I think he could go stand in like a wax museum and just look like Santa Claus, and people would come and see him.
Skyler, you're up.
Hello from New Orleans. Thank you, Skyler, for the video. I love making your woven cross. Well, thank you for watching the video and making it. A lot of people love that cross. I think my video got 520,000 views so far now.
Sweet.
So Skyler, I was going to attempt to make that cross, but I bought a filament that's supposed to be wood-like for the 3D printer, and I wanted to see, does it look horrible, or I'm skeptical myself, but Steve was like, it has wood in it. I said, has anyone tried this filament? Steve was like, it has wood in it.
I've seen people do it on a CNC.
Yeah.
So I'll try it. I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious that how that filament looks. Does it actually look like wood? What does it look like? A Lincoln log?
No, so it won't look like it. I mean, it's not going to look like wood because there won't be wood grain in it, right?
Right.
But it does have real wood in it. Now it's like sawdust, but
it's gonna be like, what is that? Yeah. Like MDF.
Yeah, it's kind of like an MDF, but you can get walnut if you want.
Yeah, I have walnut. Yeah,
you can paint it.
There you go, airbrush it.
Yeah,
and I might as well made it out of wood after I do all that work.
Yeah, I mean, wood filament,
like real wood.
Wood filament to me is a bit gimmicky, but there are some crazy filaments you can get. Like if you want to print statues, you can get filament with like clay in it, marble.
Yeah, marble. Yeah.
You can get rustable iron filament, so you print it and then it rusts, which is you want to make something that looks patinaed. You can do that.
Yeah, making those crosses now, I can get them in 30 minutes done from the beginning to the end.
You've refined that process. That's cool.
Some assembly line there.
Just do it.
Yeah, you got to take your time though, otherwise it's not art.
Have you seen one of was it a bearded Viking? He was missing one of the fingers. A tip. Be careful. Russian complacency. Yeah. Chris said CNC is close if you have a good house fire insurance. Yeah. That's why I said I won't leave my house with anything running, but I would with a 3D printer, But yeah. So you guys got any upcoming projects? Anything you are willing to share or can share, I should say?
I'm making the cutest little project now.
Can we see it?
Yeah. Let me get the computer to see if I can show you. It still needs a lot of sanding and shaping done.
Oh, man, that's cool. So is that all different kinds of wood, or did you stain it?
Yep. Nope. There's no stain. It's all just hardwood. This is not finished yet. I'm still sanding it. All kind of exotic woods, all different colors. There's no paints.
That's cool.
Wow, that looked awesome.
So how many hours do you think you have in it so far?
I started this morning and took many breaks in between.
I'm laughing because I was thinking like 4 or 5 days. You did all that like.
No, I printed the pattern last night and cut all the pattern pieces, the paper pieces, and then this morning I started cutting them and started shaping them, and now I just have to do the final sanding and glue it together and make a backer.
That's cool. You are truly an artist, that's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so cute. Maybe a little bit cartoonish, maybe a little bit kid-like, but I loved it.
Oh, it's cool. It's definitely cool. Yeah, and I didn't mean to be offensive and laughing. I was laughing because I couldn't believe how fast you did it. I was not expecting that.
She doesn't need a CNC. It would actually take it would actually take longer to do that with a CNC than you're doing it by hand.
Well, the cutting doesn't take long with the scroll saw. It's 42 pieces, and most of them are small like this. There's the shaping, the sanding to round over all the edges and shape it and give it the 3D look.
So the cutout would be okay on a CNC. It's the shaping would take a long time, because that would be like well, depending on the resolution you want, how much you want it to sand, either an 1/8-inch ball bit or a V bit of some sort. And that's really slow because you're not taking off a lot of material with each pass, right?
Right. I think the longest process for this is to choose the right woods. So it's like I had all kinds of different species of wood. I was like, what goes with what? And then you do the feathers, and you don't want two very close colors next to each other. So just picking up which part is going to be which color, was the hardest part.
Looks like you got a question, Skyler.
Skyler, what stains did you use for all those colors? There's no stains. There's just all natural wood colors, all exotic woods.
I have to ask you a question. How do you like that planer behind you? I have it brand new in a box. I haven't opened it yet. The DeWalt.
I had it. That was one of my first tools I ever got as a woodworker. So it's been 3 years. I changed the blades once about a few months ago, but it's working great.
Do you have the Halo Hex blades in it, or the regular?
No, just the regular ones, because when I got it, they gave me an extra set of blades. So I just changed it a few months ago.
So I was laughing because that exact planer, there's two different versions of it, right? There's one with an extended table, and then it also comes with 3 sets of blades. When the other one doesn't have the extended cable, it does have the extra blades. Maybe they had a surplus, or maybe it was a mess up. But the one with the extended table and the extra blades was cheaper. And I was like, what? So that's what I got.
Yeah, I use it. I mean, I mill my own lumber. So every project starts on my jointer, planer, table saw, and then I work with it and go through the drum sander. I use my drum sander for every project. I do very little sanding by hand. Mostly
I had
the edges.
It's coming. I just cedar fence pickets, cedar fence pickets, cedar fence pickets. So my whole thing with that is I thought if I could barely just take off the rough, and just running through that, because the one I had before was not a DeWalt. Man, my ears.
Well, this one is pretty loud too.
Yeah.
All planers are loud.
Yep.
Man, like holy macro loud. Ordinary Woodworker said, hi all from Colden Rayleigh, Port Oregon.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Ordinary Woodworker.
You're up, Skyler.
I would make Skyler's models if I hire someone to do the sanding.
Yeah.
Definitely having the right sanding tools helps a lot. When I got my scroll saw, I got it because I want to do this intarsia type of projects. And I didn't have a lot of tools. So I was just doing all the shaping and sanding by hand. And then my first project was this sailboat. I put it in a frame. It was like, with the waves, with the water and whatever. And my brother has that piece is on his wall. But it took me a week to sand. And it's a very simple project. There's only a few pieces. Maybe had like 15 pieces. It took me a whole week to shape and sand by hand. I was like, oh, forget it. I'm not doing this and doing something else. But now having more tools and getting a little bit of the technique down, I find it pretty easy.
That's cool. You're up again.
Sky, can you do like clack and print things for your shop? I'm not sure what he means by that, print things for the shop.
Kevin said, good evening, everyone in Connecticut for this week for work. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Just want to let everyone know that this, for the most part, our regulars are in here, but if anyone is new to the live, this is a live questions and answers. So don't think that you are changing if we're talking about CNCs and all of a sudden you want to talk about 3D printers or you want to talk about YouTube or marketing or anything. The fact this is not a scripted video, so you're more than welcome to answer any question at all. You're not bringing us off target or off topic. If you're also wondering why we read these comments, it's because a very large portion of people are working and they're listening, and then they chime in when there's something that they want to come. So We know you can see the comments, but people can't see the comments if they're just listening. Just wanted to mention that.
So speaking of CNCs, there is news this week. Unbelievably, Millmage is finally going to ship. Only a year and a half later than they said they were going to release it. So it's a typical software project, basically. It's going to be interesting to see because it's pretty basic. Like no one who's using VCarve is going to give it up and take up Millmage, but they might eat into Easel's market a bit.
So, Skyler, do you have Menards near you or no?
I don't think so.
By me, there's Menards all over the place, but on social media is going absolutely nuts because I know you mill your own wood, but like any kind of like tabletop rounds, anything from like I think 6 inches to like huge, like literally a full size table, they're blowing them out. Like I think the 18-inch, 22 inches are like $2 and $3, and
wow, that's awesome.
Thick. You couldn't buy the wood. You couldn't buy the wood for the rounds. So
what kind of wood do you know?
I can go grab it. I bought some, but there's all different kinds. But yeah, let me go grab it. Hold on.
It's always good to have wood for tabletops. My desk here is because I wanted to have a raise and lower like power because sometimes I like to stand.
These were 15 inches.
It's a table I bought at the tabletop I bought separately from the legs. 15
inches says made in Brazil.
What is it?
This is pine.
Pine.
But they have all different kinds of wood. I just got pine. But literally on Facebook, like people are like,
you can make with those things. You can make like plant stands.
Yeah, I even thought I can use them on the CNC to create some kind of design, you know. So, but for a couple bucks, I was like, I couldn't buy the wood for that.
Put it on your CNC and make a really big coin.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of the union logos for sure.
Yeah.
I would make it into a plant stand and paint it.
Okay. Hi from Northern New Jersey. Where are all three of you from? Steve, you want to start?
I am not from, but I am in Nova Scotia, Canada, about 2 miles from the Atlantic Ocean.
And I am in Maine, Yarmouth, Maine.
And I am in the Chicagoland area. I think Tony is making good comments on your comment, Skyler. Tools, jigs, and fixtures. Once you're actually doing something, a jig is gonna be a lifesaver, right? For something.
Yep. I think I have more jigs in my shop than I have tools. I have a lot of tools.
Yeah. If you think you're ever gonna make more than one of something, build a jig first.
Yeah, and you know the thing too is that it's frustrating at first because that getting that jig dialed in right takes time, right? But then once it's dialed in, like that is so drastically helpful.
Yeah, I remember my first table saw sled. I think I made like 5 of them until I got one that is perfectly square, and took me forever. And now I could probably get it done in a half an hour and get it perfect.
Radui said, since it's slow, can you talk about DTF machines, what to look for and avoid in general pricing and recommending machines? So what I would say when it comes to DTF, that you should buy nothing with less than 2 print heads. If anything less than 2 print heads, if you're printing over 15 shirts, forget it. It's made, that's a cricket, right? It's made for something you want to do onesie twosies, and that's it. I would also say that you want to get something at least 16 inches wide. The reason that I say that is because if you plan on printing any shirt over an XL or 2XL, you're not going to be able to. when it comes to inks, there's a huge difference in the inks. So a lot of times these manufacturers sell their own inks. I'm not saying that you can't go outside of whoever is selling you the printer, but at least stick with their inks first, because if you try somebody else's inks and you ruin that print head in that printer, they are not going to warranty you or help you at all. At least if you use their inks and then you ventured out, you can, but I would start with their inks first. That'd be my suggestion. You do not need a shaker. There's plenty of different ways that you can dry and cure your prints, but if you are, again, going to be printing massive amounts of shirts, it's definitely something that you want to get. But keep in mind that these machines get very large, and the shakers get very long. So I have a room that's dedicated. That's all that's in there, and it pulls a lot of power. And the equipment is very sensitive as far as temperature, humidity. Like climate control is definitely something that you want to maintain in that room for those printers if you want longevity of the print heads.
So what do you do, because the white especially tends to plug up the print head if you don't flush it on a regular basis, right? You don't use these things every day, I'm guessing.
So what I do is that you buy 2 sets of cartridges. You have your cartridges that actually has your ink going through it, and then you have a ink cartridge with nothing in it. You pull your cartridges and you put them up so that they're not going to pull down, and you put your ink cartridges in that that are empty and they're filled with cleaning solution. You run printhead cleans and you flush your machine, and the only thing that's in it is the cleaning solution. And that's how you're going to leave it if you're not going to be using it all the time.
Yeah.
And then you just shake up your inks, put them back in. And
the real question I was asking is if you put the cleaning solution cartridges in.
Yeah. So some people call them dampers or cartridges, but the cleaning solution cartridges are really what you want to get. Whites, they expire. All inks expire, but white specifically, if you use past the expiration date, they're going to bind, cause all kinds of issues. Colors, they can be years expired, and it probably wouldn't even know it. And they are water soluble inks. So you also want to make sure that once you open that container, that you try to use it, dump it as much as you can or seal it really good, because if the water starts evaporating in that ink, it's not going to have consistency throughout it.
I think the message here for Radu is that these things are not zero maintenance, right?
Yeah. So Radu, if you're on Facebook, look up let me see if I had it here. I'll see if I can get his information and do it. There's a guy, he's in Texas. How do I say this? There's only really like 4 manufacturers when it comes to those print heads, and everyone's almost pretty much using Epson print heads, right? So everyone's using rebranded, just as the same thing they're doing with lasers. Dennis Moon. Go on Facebook and do a search for Dennis Moon. He's in Texas. He's one of the only manufacturers who are manufacturing, I would say assembling, in Texas. But the cool thing about Dennis Moon is they call him the DTF King. He's one of the first person in the United States to print DTF. And he actually, I was like one of the third because he got me into it. And he knows everything about DTF. And the cool thing is that if you buy from him, not only does he sell the equipment, he sells all the supplies. And if your machine is going to go down, there's no doubt it's not going to go down. At some point in time, you're going to have maintenance issues. He has all the parts in stock. And if you have an order you can't handle, he prints too. So he's just, and the guy is loaded. I mean, he is like rich beyond belief. And he's the guy who will bend over backwards and just help you when he doesn't have to. He's just a solid guy. Yeah. So check him out, Dennis Moon. Let's see. Wade said, just subscribe to Rick and Steve. I was ready to subscribe to Skyler. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chris says, yeah, Millmage is not there. It's not there that yet, I guess. A beginner will be pushing the limits of it within a week to a month. Yeah, this is my worry, right? Like he said, they dropped inlay operations for some reason that didn't affect me, and no 3D at all. I mean, the reason they would drop some of these key features is because they did eventually want to ship it, and those are hard things to do, right? Like I mean, 3D less so, but the inlay stuff that they do in VCarve, and if you haven't played with that, and that's something you're going to be interested in too, Skyler.
I know. I've watched all kinds of videos. I've already went through the whole projects, did some inlays and created tool paths and stuff, and did all of that on VCarve. Ready.
Yeah, well, so a lot of the videos will be the old version of VCarve before they added the inlay toolpath. Like you could do it before, but it was a pain. Now you just basically say, here's my design, build me, create a toolpath for inlay, and it will create both halves of it for you in one shot. And they fit perfectly together. Like, it's just amazing. So what you get then is effectively two pieces of material, and you can say this one is the plug and this one's the socket, and it just builds the tool path for you.
Tim says,
those are hard.
Tim says, best ETA printer in my opinion is X-Tool apparel printer. I'd say this: you will never, ever see an X-Tool printer in any production shop. Ever. It's cool for a home-based business. It's cool for someone who's going to do it occasionally, but a large production shop, never happens.
Yeah, keep in mind, X-Tool's market is not large production anything, right?
Right.
I've
actually had to stay awake for like 2 days straight printing, because the other thing is that you're trying to finish orders on the smaller printer. I literally had to cut my foundation and install a commercial door to put bigger equipment in my house. So trust me, like I'll talk to Dennis, see if we can get him on the line. But the thing with the X-Tool is it does a lot of its own maintenance, right? So that's the real. They all do that now.
Yeah, they had no choice because the production ones weren't doing it, and all these little ones were coming out. And the same with like the E1, right? It shook up the UV printer world because it did all the maintenance. Like I can leave mine sit for a month and then just go and print something on it, and it works fine.
Right. So the biggest thing is you got to understand is like even all these like in DTF, these self-maintenance type things, stirs and all this and that, there's no way it can actually touch the bottom. Like if it's in this container and it's spinning, it can't actually touch all the way to the bottom because it would be hitting it. So there's a 1/16 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch that it's off of the bottom of the container. And even though it randomly stirs it, that's still settling. And in white, there's metals in the white.
Yeah, it's titanium dioxide.
Right. So you still have to take every now and then that container that they're filling the inks in, when they have these bulk ink systems, and clean them out with distilled water.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean there is definitely maintenance on something like an E1, but it's not daily maintenance.
Right.
Whereas a typical, up until they came out with that, a typical UV printer, you were doing the same thing as a DTF printer, right? You were flushing the white and it was just a lot of maintenance. And
a DTF printer should not sit longer than 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, when I had my Pro Colored sitting in my shop, I would literally walk by every day and push the head cleaning button. And it doesn't use a lot of ink, but I just got to the point where, well, this is dumb because I'm not going to make that many T-shirts. So I found a good home for it where it was getting almost daily use. So,
nice.
It was a good place for it, and I can still get my T-shirts made, which is important. So
there you go. All right, Steve, you're up.
David says, Steve, does the alien cell use light burn well yet? I guess it depends on what you mean by well and yet. I mean, certainly you can use Lightburn. What you lose, though, is effectively all of the reasons you would buy an alien cell in the first place, except for the size.
What's an alien cell?
So an alien cell is a new diode laser, but it's big, right? It's got a 700 millimeter by 400 and change millimeter. So it's pretty big. And it's got a dual camera system in it, which only works with their software. You can't use it in Lightburn because Lightburn doesn't know what to do with two cameras. And like any of these things, if they say, oh, we support Lightburn, but here's our software, I'll use their software every time.
There's a reason. They wouldn't have gone through the trouble to make their own software if there wasn't.
Well, no, but the reason, so Xtool was a prime example, right? Back in the day when before they came out with the Xtool Studio, they wanted Lightburn to add a bunch of capabilities to Lightburn to support all of their new features. And Lightburn, I don't know, either said no or dragged their feet or whatever. So Xtool said, fine, we're going to build our own software and show off things like contoured focus and all the other things that they do. And there's a reason, right? Because you can't do those things with generic software. So, but it works. I've used it in Lightburn. It works fine.
Kevin said 65 watts CO2. Tried cutting some quality MDF, but it does test grid. I get a lot of flare-ups. Got nervous a couple times. Flames lasted a bit longer than I was comfortable with.
Yeah. So this is the hard lesson with MDF, right? MDF does not cut well with lasers, and certain kinds of MDF are worse than others because of the glue in it.
Yes. So
like MDF is 50% sawdust, 50% glue. And if it's exterior MDF, particularly, it's virtually impossible to cut it with a laser.
And Kevin, the other thing that I've done that helps with that is put masking tape over it.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do multiple passes and go faster.
Yes. But we've also
probably lower the focus, right? Every pass.
Yeah. You need to lower focus.
But the other thing that, if you've ever watched, I was actually going to bring it up. Once in a while, we do fails, and the reason we do fails is because, we're on YouTube, and Skyler shows us a beautiful cross. Steve shows us, amazing chess piece. And we're showing this laser engraved that looks so perfect. It's very scriptish, things that I'm doing for memorial stuff, and we're not showing you our fails, right? So that can be discouraging for someone who's first starting. So once in a while, randomly, we show our fails. And one of my biggest fails was exactly what you're saying, Kevin. I was cutting something over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, and all of a sudden, whoa, went up in flames.
Well, I mean, Skyler probably doesn't make any fails, but when I was learning,
I do plenty. I do more fails than succeed.
when I was learning to make chess pieces on CNC, I didn't have any flame outs because it's a CNC, but I did make a box full of kind of quasi round things that looked like half a chess piece. So they all became a bunch of firewood. But,
I tried to do with my Shaper Origin. I was making some oval boxes that has like a hand carved lid, and I was cutting them with it. But on Shaper, you cannot put tabs, so you would I would cut the pocket. Everything went great, and then when you cut out the box, you get to the very end, and it dislodges, and it just kicks it into the bit, and it takes a big chunk of it. And I think I cut like 6 of them until I got one okay.
Can't you do like you do with a CNC and put 2 pieces of tape, glue them together, and stick one on each side and stick it down?
Well, I did that. It still moved a little bit, and you cannot put tabs like you will do in a CNC, so it stays together, and then you just cut them. So then what I ended up doing to get it successful, I just leave like an onion skin, so you don't cut all the way through. And then I'll take it to the band, so I'll cut that part, and then take it to the router with the flush trim bit and cut the remaining. But
workarounds.
Yeah. Well, the good news is you can use tabs in VCarve, so.
And
it doesn't take much. Like you can cut a pretty big piece and leave like 3 tabs in it, and it'll stay there.
Right.
Tim said it is, but the best I've had for a short a year. I didn't buy the shaker like Rick said. Got a cheap oven for the cures of prints. I'm gonna talk to Dennis and see if we can get him on the live. You guys can pick his brain, and I'll put money on it. There's no one who's gonna be able to give you better answers to DTF, DTG, silkscreen, apparel. He owns a factory that makes his own hats. Like he's deep. He used to make boots. Mexicans are really big. Anyone from the South is big into boots.
With those really long toes?
No, he didn't do those. But yeah, but those are funny. I'll talk to him. I'm sure he'll do it. Frank said, hello, everybody. First time watching the show. I know Miss Ewing's channel, but not the two gentlemen. Can you say your channel, please? Actually, if you look at the bottom, there's a little ticker.
It's right there.
You'll see Steve and I's, as well as Rogers, who's not with us today. Rogers, actually, those who are maybe wondering, is at a cooking event for a fundraiser. Oh, nice. So he is cooking for a fundraiser tonight.
He's doing some charity work tonight.
Yep.
And it says shirts would be the last thing I would consider doing. Yeah, I kind of feel your pain. I was thinking of mugs, glasses, and coasters.
Well, then you're talking about sublimation.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, it's not really a DTF task. You can do it, but it doesn't. It's not.
Roger does a lot of sublimation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his daughter.
But he does 3D printing on it, right? It's not, or he does inkjet printing type stuff, not DTF. He doesn't have a DTF printer, does he? Oh, he does.
Sublimation.
Sublimation ink.
Yes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you can do coasters. Well, you still need the sublimation materials. You can use a UV printer for that. Do you still have your UV printer, Skyler? Did you get another one?
I do. It's having some issues right now, so I'm waiting for them to see what's gonna happen.
You don't use it enough.
I have not used it in a while.
Most of the issues I've had with mine were software. Every time they update the firmware, they create a new problem.
Yeah, well, mine, the motor that stirs the ink, it's stopped. So.
Oh, well, that is a problem. But you have a new one, right? You have the production one?
Yeah, I do.
Skyler, you want to take this one?
I have some slabs, but one slab has a void and 6 inches wide by 12 inches long at one end and 1.5 deep. The other end, it's gone up to nothing. Do I need a deep pour epoxy? I would use a deep pour anything over 1/4 inch, because otherwise it will create too much heat and cure too fast, and you'll have all kinds of issues and can crack, turn yellow. Yeah.
I generally only use deep pour because it takes 2 days for it to cure, but you don't have to think about it, right?
I would not use deep pour if I just feel a small crack, or if you do a top coat, then you'll use a tabletop epoxy. But other than that, pretty much always a deep pour. And it's easier to get the bubbles out because they're so much thinner.
Yeah.
You put them in the vacuum pot, and 5 minutes later, it's completely clear.
Is there a certain brand that you prefer when it comes to epoxy?
I've tried them all. Every single one of them. I had a few companies send me some for reviews too. My favorite one was actually from Canada.
I know the one. It's the one I like too. I forget what it's called.
It has the works in the cold weather, because I was putting a lot of epoxy before I had a heated shop. They have the cold weather slow cure.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I ice epoxy.
No, not ice. No.
Because that one's here. There's another one though, which is the other one I use a lot of. Although I haven't done a lot of epoxy stuff lately.
Surprisingly enough, I had some epoxy I hadn't tried it yet, and my daughter was trying it. So I was like,
"Oh, nice."
Yeah.
I was going to tell her, actually, Skyler, to message you.
I hope she's wearing a mask and gloves and all that stuff.
Yeah. Chris said, "Cutting MDF on a laser is an art form." Yes.
Yeah, it's a borderline impossible. It's just not a good material to work with on lasers.
Go and take this, Steve.
Ordinary Woodworker says, I think Craft Closet sells quality 1/8 inch MDF for cuts. Oh, that cuts well on a diode. Not sure how it cuts on a CO2. Well, if it cuts on a diode, it should cut on a CO2. Yeah, the real problem is it's like trying to use hardware store acrylic, right? It's just not the right material.
Yeah.
But they do make MDF that you can cut specifically for lasers. It's a little more expensive, but
yeah. Chris said OW Craft Closet's secret is consistency of their material. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, you know, this is the a lesson to find good suppliers. You know, because when you find one, you know, they always have good material and you can count on it, especially if you're doing, you know, commercial kind of work.
Have you heard of these brands, Skyler?
Yep.
Not Westbond, but Total Boat. I used a few of their epoxy, and the Total Boat is totally fine. Their tabletop epoxy, I'm not a big fan. I feel like it's yellow right out of the can compared to other ones, but it's nice.
I may want to run over and grab and see what I got. Let me see.
I'll show you the one from Canada. Let's see if I can go find it quickly. I'll take you into my finishing room. That is a mess.
This is what I got. Promise?
Promise epoxy? Yeah, I have some of that too. So you see all my epoxies are here on the bottom. So the liquid glass is nice. Ice is nice. That's Texpert. I've used that a lot. But the one from California, let's see. I think I have it here somewhere. Not from California, from Canada. I think is...
She might do a little epoxy, guys. We just saw 100 gallons down there.
I have it somewhere in here.
I've heard of crazy cat ladies, but not crazy epoxy ladies.
It's this one.
Slow casting.
I don't know that one.
It's from Rusty Designs.
Huh.
And it's really nice. It's very, very clear and pretty thin because it works good even in colder temperatures. When I didn't have a heated shop, that cures at 60 degrees with no problem. And it's just really nice. And if you do like a pour that is over an inch, it has a really nice exothermic reaction. You get these really cool wave-looking things.
Cool.
If I do more epoxy, I might reach out and ask you what brand that was, because I'll probably forget 5 minutes from now.
My favorite, but yeah, I bought a whole bunch of it.
Skyler, you're very artsy. So is there anything new that you're trying this year you haven't tried before, or anything we should be on the lookout?
I don't know. I bought all the tools and everything last year to start some stained glass things. So nice. I want to incorporate some of that with my woodworking. I have not set it all up yet. It's still in a closet upstairs. But okay. I have everything I need. I have I don't know, 50 pounds of glass and all the sanding machines and all that stuff and the cutting. But I have not done it yet.
Very cool. So those are... You're going to solder and weld it or whatever, put it all together, and nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing some little night lights, kind of like lamp thing, and you have some cool colored glass in it and the wood and I don't know.
Lamp shades.
Like Tiffany.
People.
Yeah, not necessarily. I was thinking more like a tabletop lamp that is kind of like a tower. Imagine a wood with little windows and.
Yeah, more modern than Tiffany lamps, but people.
Right.
For some reason, people buy lampshades, right? And like artistic ones.
Yes.
And they'll pay money for them.
I have a Tiffany lamp, and it's my husband's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look nice.
Not cheap at all.
Well, if it's an original Tiffany lamp, yeah, it's not going to be cheap.
No, not at all. So I definitely want to start doing more everything that I've done on like these, I make these little boxes that set on gravestones that are for flowers, but all the engraving that I've done on them have all been with a laser. And I really want to start pushing my limits, learning new skill sets, and doing that with the CNC.
I would think it's so much easier with a CNC with a V-bit. I mean, I do it with the whatever this little fake CNC. It does it just fine.
Yeah, so kind of like what you were saying before, though, like you have all these jigs set up. Like I have like all these templates, all these jigs in the laser. I can just kind of like, you know what I mean? So I have to learn setting all that up and creating all those files, you know, in the CNC. So it's going to be, you know, but I want to learn. That's something I want to start doing in the CNC.
I cannot wait for you to make some videos on that CNC.
Yeah, I've been busy trying to make money to pay for all this stuff. So,
but you're a YouTuber. That means you're rich by definition.
Yeah.
Everything is free.
I did my taxes, and my wife was like, you don't have to report those 1099s. It's not a lot of money. And I said, you know what they said? The IRS said that since they cut the IRS, they don't have a lot of employees now. They have these bots. And one of the red flags they're looking for is matching if you reported 1099s, you know, and it made me owe money when I reported my earnings. And I was like, well, it is what it is, you know, like, but exactly what you just said, Steve. People just make that assumption, you know, like when football came, man, football season was good to me. That's all I can say.
Christmas was good to me, and then it just died. Like I think, especially February, this month has been the slowest it's been in 3 years since I've been selling things.
February is usually a slow month. People get depressed in February, right? So, but in March they want to spend money again because you know they were depressed for a month.
Yeah. So to me, my prime's going to start. So I sell a lot of flower boxes and a lot of bed garden boxes and a lot of those flower beds for the graves. So all that's going to start coming. Like my peak of my season's going to start, you know, and it starts kind of tapering off dead in the middle of the summer, you know, but yeah, so definitely start, you know, like we said, you can make something on a CNC, you can make something on a laser, you can make something, but when you start like crossbreeding, so to speak, with different pieces, I think that's when it sets you out different than somebody else is doing. Because
it's different. Yeah. Usually, like some people will buy a CNC and it's like, oh, I want to start a business, and they just buy a CNC and they just do whatever they can cut on the CNC, and they don't have any other tools.
Right.
So
I mean, lasers are the same, right? Like people, I mean, some of it's budget, right? You can only afford one tool, and you buy one, and you figure, well, I'm going to make everything with this, but you know, it doesn't work that way, right? You need lots of tools.
When I was at my last craft show, the guy that was selling next to me, he was selling wood turning stuff. So he had all kinds of like little round things and whatever. He was selling these platters, and he came to me. He's like, I have a question. He's like this old gentleman, you know, I want to say, I don't know, like almost 80. And he's like, I have a question for you, woodworker to woodworker. It's like, how do you, because I was having the cutting boards and stuff. It's like, how do you glue your cutting boards? I thought it was so odd that he asked me. He's a wood turner. He's been doing woodworking all his life. He's like, you know, I turn these big platters and I make all of them from chairs that I found on the street when people take their trash out. So the seat itself, I turn it into a platter. It's like, but I'm running out of it. I'm running low, and I do not know how to glue a board so I can make more platters. So I was like, how can you not know that?
That's crazy.
So you set them up with some glue?
Looks like you're up, Skyler.
I have a buddy who's a wood turner, and now he's a master craftsman type wood turner, right? Like he's a master wood turner, and he does crazy stuff. But I basically, you know, my theory is, you make things that are round. It drives him a little crazy, but he makes like real art. Like you know, he's a pro.
Skyler, have you watched Michael's video on duplicating and replacing the stained glass windows on a bank that lost its windows in the fire? No, I do not know who this Michael is, but sounds interesting.
That's cool.
I think I'll start with something really small.
At some point this year, I want to do some electroplating.
I've seen people doing that with 3D printing. They're making the chains look chrome and gold.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I'm interested in, right? Is using a 3D print as a form and then electroplating on top of it. Really, all you have to do is spray it with zinc paint so that there's a metal surface there, and then you can electroplate it. But it allows you to do lots of crazy things that you couldn't do otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my mission. That's when I get a free moment, which might be December. So I don't know.
Nice one. Skyler, you want to take this?
What brand's epoxy best for shelf life? None of them last for too long once you open it. They will start to yellow and stuff. So just make sure you don't open a million of them like I do. I'm like, oh, I'll try this one. Oh, now I tried this one. And now you have like 10 different open bottles. Just open one and use it.
I have 5 different ones open on my shelf, and they're probably all going to be tossed out because I just haven't made anything.
You can still use them. You just have to use them with a dark color or warm tones, because they're yellow.
We're making everything with black epoxy, with black dye in it.
So how long do you think that you should, or how long would it, once you open it, you start seeing the negative effects on it, do you think?
I think I use it enough where I have one that turned yellow, and that's just the Total Boat tabletop. That one is like completely yellow in the container right now.
But like you open it, you think you should use it within 30 days? You think no.
I would think like a few months for sure.
Yeah, about 6 months on the outside, I'd say.
Okay. Chris says it's not a lot of money until you have to pay the IRS fine. Exactly. I was like, ain't worth it.
Ordinary woodworker says Roy, most support a year of shelf life. This is the epoxy, I guess, but I have used epoxy that was over 2 years old. Yeah, it'll still cure. It just turns yellow, and if you want to make something
for those out there that are watching this, if you are trying epoxy, please read the directions carefully.
Yes,
I've used some of penetrating epoxy from Total Boat, which is amazing, and I use it all the time now. But I was just so used of some ratio of the epoxy I was using before that I used the ratios all wrong. And it heated up. It got like 370 degrees and started smoking, and it was like terrifying.
Wow.
My plastic cup melted and shrunk.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah,
I have a video on it. I filmed it. After I saw what happened, I was like, whoa, that was crazy. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to do again exactly what I did and film it. So I have a video on it.
Yeah, and some of them, the mix is by weight and some is by volume. So
right. I try to use mostly the ones that are by weight. That's why I like the one from Canada.
It's easier to work with.
But some are 3-to-1, some are 2-to-1, some are 1-to-1. So.
Yeah, but usually the different size of bottle is a good indication that it's not 1-to-1.
Right.
But
Chris said, when shelf life matters, I mark the date on the once he opens it, he marks a date with a thick marker.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch that have no date on them. So
me too. That's the advice I give, but I never follow.
Yeah. Very good conversation. So let us know if you have any more questions. If you made it this far in the live and you are not a member of our Facebook group, I highly suggest that you join. ShopTalkLive.club. It's not a website. It's just an auto forward to our Facebook group, so we don't have this big long URL. Shop Talk Live Facebook group is not my Facebook group, Steve's, Rogers, or it's actually, the reason I'm mentioning this is because everyone knows we're influencers. Everyone knows that we sell, and we highly encourage everyone to post your stuff on there, so you're not stepping on anyone's toes by posting your own social media content. You're not stepping on anyone's toes by posting your items for sale or anything like that. We definitely suggest you share within the community.
You guys need to post more in there.
I try.
I am the worst social media person on the planet.
I feel like every time I go there and I look back, it's like the last post is still the one from me. Like, there you go again.
But contrary to Rick's claim, I would like to think I'm not an influencer because I try not to hype things up. Yes, I review a lot of stuff, but here it is. Here's what's good. Here's what's not good. Buy one, don't buy one. It's really not my concern, right? Buy the thing that matters to you.
Chris said all the rules I advise I don't follow. It's a book in the making.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. The VCarve Pro versus Aspire, is it worth it? I mean, I just went to VCarve Pro because I didn't know what to get.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So for you, because you want to do a lot of 2.5D type contour stuff, at least I'm assuming that's what you want to do. Like you can do one toolpath with VCarve Pro. You can do one contoured toolpath, so you can load in like an STL file, but only one. With Aspire, you can load in as many as you want. And
do you ever need more than one? I mean,
well, you might, right? If you're doing something that's maybe round up here and square down here, and you want to put two things, you might want to have more than one. But with VCarve, or with Aspire, you can also author 3D contours, which you can't do with VCarve. VCarve,
for me, I just didn't want it to be too confusing since I'm not familiar with the program. I said,
well, so they're all exact supersets of one another. So starting with Cut 2D, which basically says here's how to cut straight lines with a CNC. So that's the similar kind of thing to MillMage. It's pretty basic. And then, but you can upgrade to VCarve, whatever they call the small one, and then VCarve Pro, and then Aspire, and they all just add more capabilities. So, if you don't want to use something in Aspire that's only in Aspire, then don't use that feature. Right? But you're going to want to at some point.
I only went for Aspire because it's so expensive, and I figured if I didn't spend the money while I had it, I might not have it later.
You might not be allowed.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason. Not as if I knew any of those people.
I mean, it's a good strategy, right? Because if you buy it now, it's what, $2,000 or something. But if you buy the $500 or $600 one first, and then your wife says, "Well, that's pretty expensive," then the other one is out of is out of your view, your sight line. So you go for the top one first.
Yeah. It just add everything. I mean, even this Skylar, I saw your post the other day about the bits. Steve was making fun of me because when I first went down that rabbit hole, I was like, "What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of that?" And it was the flattening bit.
Like you look at this flattening bit. Now, a flattening bit's sole job is to flatten MDF, which is like sandpaper, right? So, I looked at I think mine cost $70.
Yeah, I want to say it was
it's a good one. It's an Amana one, but you were looking at one that was like $400, and I went,
yeah, I can't remember. It was expensive. It was a couple $100. I can't remember which it was. It's been a while.
And then you were asking if it was a good one. Well, yeah, it's a good one. It's probably too good to put on MDF.
Yeah, I have flattening bits. I think I have like 3 or 4 of them because I use them with my router flattening jig for the slabs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, man, I got the same bits you got, and then I was over at our buddy, what's his name? We had him on the live.
Andy? Oh no, yeah, what the hell is his name now?
The cut too close or something?
Yes, cutting. Yeah. I bought some of his bits. And then the cool thing is I bought his bits and then give him some support because I did download his
database.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that for the IDC and I did that for the SPED tool because I bought like $1,000 on bits from Amazon from SPED tools. So I have all the database and makes it easier.
Those ones are good. We'll say
for learning.
Discount. Yeah, they're your learning bits, right? When you snap one, you're gonna go, oh, there goes $5, as opposed to, there goes $100.
Yeah, so I bought like 3 pretty decent sized sets off Amazon, and Steve was laughing because he's like, "Yeah, that blue. What was it? What do they call the blue ones?
The cobalt ones.
Yeah." He was like, "That is so bootleg cobalt. There's no way. Not for that price. It can't be really cobalt. You know, there's just no way possible."
Yeah. So yeah, because I've purchased like Amana cobalt bits, and they're like, $80 and $90, and then you buy a pack of 50 of these things for $10 or whatever you paid, and it's like, yeah, they're just blue, they're not cobalt.
But they claim they are.
They heated them up and turned them blue, but in the process they took the temper out of the steel.
Ordinary Woodworker said, when buying epoxy, make sure you get fresh batch. Do not recommend buying off Amazon.
Yeah, it's a little unpredictable on Amazon, but if you just need a bit, like you need, because you can get the whatever the art one is called, I forget the name of the company, but they're only like these little half-liter, or not even half-liter, they're 200 milliliter bottles or something.
I bought that Promise epoxy off Amazon.
Yeah,
I'm an Amazon junkie. They're here 3 times a day.
Oh, I am too, just because it's easy to get stuff.
Yes,
but if things like epoxy, I mean, when you're learning, who cares, right? You can go to your local what is it, Harbor Freight, and buy whatever epoxy they have on the shelf. You don't care. But when you're making something, where that quality matters, you want good epoxy, and it's going to cost you money.
And it's very personal too, depends on what you're making, because I like the epoxy that heats up a little bit, so you get that exothermic like waves and cool designs, mixing colors. And some of them are, deep pours that are very cold, so they don't. You put like 5 different colors there, and then it cures slowly, and it just all turns into brown. So it's like now different colors. And then other ones will heat up like crazy so fast that you end up with those tiny, tiny little dots. And it just, it heats up, it damages your mold because it heats up too much, and it might even crack.
Hey, there's Roger.
Hey,
hi, Roger.
Better late than never. Still got my chef jacket on, so
flipping burgers.
Oh, Mexican chef tonight, so get a whole lot of Mexican cooking tonight. So
nice. I cooked tacos tonight.
Miss Skyler, I want to thank you directly for what you made for Wanda.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help.
Touched me so deeply. Thank you so much.
ABT Market said, I think there's a lot of people, we don't practice what we preach. Yeah. I was bad with that with sound protection. I never wore, yes. And I'm doing it all the time now. And I think it was making me more self-conscious because of my son. It's like a kid and we're using loud,
Yeah.
But we finally have like expensive ones that are built-in Bluetooth, and you can listen to music or do something when. But
they're noise canceling, which is nice. And
yes, and I've gotten used to working them. Not even when I go to work now, I'm using them. But
and I mean, when you got your CNC, I told you, right? You turn a spindle on and you go, oh, this isn't so bad. And the second it touches wood, it's like like you're murdering a chicken. It's just like screaming at you, and it's like, it's one of these things where I use just earbud noise canceling earbuds rather than the big over ear ones.
Yeah,
and it makes a huge difference once it touches that wood.
Yeah, and I'm wearing them all the time now, and that was something throughout my entire career around heavy machinery equipment. Just never, whatever. But
this is the advantage of lasers; they don't make a lot of noise.
Yeah. So my son, when we didn't use the CNC for like weeks, put it that way, or lasers. Matter of fact, right? A couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and my son goes, "Look how clean it is in here." He goes, "This is insane. 3D printers don't make any kind of mess." It's like, yeah.
Well, the thing with what I find with the Bambu printer is when it does that first little test print up front, it draws that little stir stick up in the front. I try and pick that thing off, and it inevitably shoots somewhere. So down on the floor below my printers, there's a million of these little stir sticks things that come off the printer.
What I end up with is I end up with one of them under my fingernail.
Oh, I had that once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I scraped it instead of using a pocket knife, and it went straight under my fingernail. And I got so scared. I was like, please don't break under there. Please don't break under there. And I pulled it straight out. But I have like a gray line under my fingernail right now because of that. Like, man,
it's gonna be there forever now.
It was like
Sunlu matte gray.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start when you're picking it off. You got to start from like one end of it has a little ball on it.
Yeah.
Start from that end.
I don't do the nail thing at all. I just pulled my pocket knife out. It went all the way to the top of my fingernail, and I was like, that will never happen again. If that thing broke in there, I'd be going to the hospital getting my fingernail taken off.
Nah, it would grow out.
Yeah. Chris said, when I buy, I spend as much as I can before permission is revoked.
Yeah.
There you go.
As they say, it's easier to beg forgiveness than ask permission, right?
There you go. Chris, I saw someone recently, cobalt just gone up to 300%.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You know, it's tariffs and costs, rising costs.
Yeah, I think too, when you're buying the bits, like, I don't really understand what I needed. They all kind of look cool, and you're watching videos, and you just like click, 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 and then you're like, check out. You're like, oh damn.
Yeah.
That's what I went by categories, like, general purpose, all the end mills, up, down cut, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, for V engraving, all the V bits, all the degrees and everything. Then for the 3D things, all the tapered ball nose, put those all in there. And
the reality is, I mean, that's the enthusiasm to get started, but the reality is you're probably going to use about 4 bits on a regular basis. The rest of them are like, yeah, okay, I got them, but it's
when you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, well, and who knows? Like, I have a keyhole bit or that every once in a while I have to make something where I gotta make it so I can hang it on the wall.
I just used the keyhole thingy last week for the first time ever in my life. I have a few of them.
Yeah, you can actually do it. You can actually do it with 2 separate bits, right? You can take an 1/8 inch end mill and run the line, and then take a 1/4 inch and punch the hole after.
Yeah, mine I did it with just a plunge router. I just made the jig with my laser and made it.
Yeah, well, not an 1/8 inch end mill. You need a flared bit, but yeah, you can do it without a bit. But it's so easy with the keyhole bit. So.
Yeah, I have the keyhole bit. I haven't used it yet, but I was excited when I got it. Like, I'm gonna use this all the time. But
now the thing with the keyhole bit is you need to make sure your material is held down really well, because if it moves at all, it's gonna break the bit. It's gonna mess up your material, or or the keyhole is gonna be all screwed up, right? So the first time I did it with a keyhole bit, I thought, this is how I learned to use it with the CNC, because I was just using a hand router, and I punched it down, and I started moving it to make the slot, and boom, it's like, oh damn it!
When
I'm going to do this on my CNC.
My first jig that I made it with the laser with the acrylic template. I put just like an oval basically, so I can put collet onto my router, and then I just ran it on that plastic. To make the keyhole, but I did not made allowance for the dust to go in. So when I came back to retract the bit, it stopped because it was dust in there, and I couldn't get it back out from the wood. It was stuck in the piece of wood.
Whoops.
Cody said, Tony said, Cody and AZ does bits, clack, and Vidmer swear by them.
Yeah, those are probably Jenny bits.
Yeah,
I use Jenny bits too. They're good.
Chris says, you buy it, put it in the shop, and when your wife sees it months later, you go,
Yeah.
I do that.
I've done this.
Yeah. I do Santa's Slave Engraving. I do exactly what you just said. And it's like, when did you get that? That? Oh, I had that a long time.
I got that years ago. It's still got the price on it. Right?
I'm horrible. I buy these hoodies all the time. They like win a free truck or whatever. There's this company called Own Boss Supply Company, and they like give away like dually pickups, trailers, and
right now.
heavy equipment, and you buy a shirt, and you get an entry. My wife's like, I thought you weren't gonna enter these anymore. Oh yeah, I didn't. When did you get that hoodie? I ran it a long time.
That was last year.
Still on it. Oh man, I never took it off. Yeah, it's funny. Chris said, Santa, the only problem with that is she's older. She orders more online than me, and she runs the deliveries for me. Yeah. Amazon's bad for that. They know you're lying. You can't lie on the price. What do they say? My only fear is when I die, she sells the tools for what I say I paid for them.
My wife, every once in a while, she'll use my Amazon account, and it's like, I spend like 6 months buying tools and bits and all kinds of things, and then all of a sudden there's like some hand cream or something in there. I said, you know what this does to the demographics of my
You're messing.
Now I'm going to start getting these weird ads.
Steve, you got a question?
Roy says, if you're marketing items for sale, 3D cut items on CNC take too long. I stick with VCar Pro. I can do 3D, but like Steve said, can't combine two models. Yeah, it's generally not a huge issue. If you are doing your designs in something like Fusion or some 3D modeling, it could be Tinkercad, you can merge your model over there and just have one STL file that you're importing. So there's ways around it, but it's a pain if you just want to quickly put a bunch of pieces together. But I've done it that way in the past.
Santa's Living Great said, my wife knows the delivery guy by name, so I totally understand. Yes.
Yeah, we know our delivery guy by name, my UPS guy. He gets in our local community Facebook page, he gets like street cred there, just because he's so awesome. He knows we have a couple of dogs, so every time he drops a package, there's some dog bones on top of it. It's like,
Roger, you're up.
Our UPS driver knows that. We have daily pickups, so all the UPS drivers know up. So going back to influencers, when I'm ready to buy my first 3D printer, would it be a Bambu because Roger's influenced me? Well, I'm a Bambu fan, although I am not sponsored by them or can't give you an affiliate link or anything else. But
I can send you an affiliate link.
Yeah,
but he is a Creality affiliate. So if you want a Creality 3D printer, ask him that.
No, I bought my first Bambu in October, and I would at this point would not buy another brand of 3D printer. I have now an H2D and an H2C, and I love them.
To me, the whole thing is everything I've done so far, there's been like a huge learning curve, and 3D printing is like a 5-year-old can do it. Literally.
Yeah, so there's that aspect of it. It's generally easier to use, but the thing with Bambu printers over some of the others is you don't have to think a lot about what you want to do, right? You take something that looks like you want, you drop it on the plate, and you push the start button, and off you go.
Yeah.
There's I've had lots of 3D printers. I still have lots of 3D printers, and anytime you want to use them, you have to experiment a bit. Right? There's no experimenting with a Bambu printer. It just works.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
My son uses it nonstop. I didn't even want to put the app on his phone because I was like, nah, dude, no.
There's a security key on the back of the printer there, right?
But you
can save thousands of dollars in filament.
Dude, by the time this kid is like 15, if you can't use every piece of equipment I own, there's a problem, right?
Yeah, well, and I mean it's good, right? Because like every generation gets a little less creative.
Yeah,
and it makes me sad.
Yeah,
because I spent the early part of my life in my shop with my father, and I learned how to use everything.
Yes,
and now it's like that doesn't seem to happen anymore, right?
No.
Now, having said that, one of my kids is a carpenter, but
yeah, kids are definitely different. I mean, these kids nowadays, they can't even change a tire. It was funny. We went on a walk down, and the engineer was there, and he had a donut, and it was almost flat. And I said, dude, why don't you change your tire? And he said that he had to have another guy help him because on the way there, he got a flat. He didn't know how to change his tire. And I made fun of him. And it's been like 3 years later. And every time any of us see him, they're like, they make fun of him because, you're 45 years old, don't know how to change a tire. Like, it's pretty bad.
This is why I originally started my YouTube channel, is because when all of us old guys are gone, society's going to grind to a halt, right? It's like no one will know how to do anything anymore because, we in part have ruined our kids, our future generations by being too nice to them, right? You can't go out and play because you might get hurt. When I went out, I mean, my mother never once said, don't get hurt. I got hurt all the time, but that's how you learn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm still waiting for, we grew up watching the Jetsons. I'm still waiting for that time to happen. Flying cars and robots. So I'm still waiting for
the robots will probably get here before the flying cars.
Yeah.
You're probably looking for Rosie the robot there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we partially have it, right? We have the robotic lawnmowers now, robotic vacuums and mops. Yeah.
Well, Elon will have his humanoid robot out there soon. They're in China. They're really taking off, right? Like they actually have humanoid robots deployed on streets.
It's crazy. My son wanted this stupid little robot. It sits in the palm of your hand. $365. He's been wanting it forever. He saved his own money. He bought it.
Sweet.
And every time I saw a video on YouTube, it was on a docking station on a desk or on a dresser. And I didn't pay too much attention. Well, the reason is because this thing is like AI self-learning your house. So guess what happened in the middle of the night? It left. And for 2 weeks, we couldn't find it. And I said, $365 doesn't have a home button? Nope.
It sneaks back in the middle of the night to charge.
Exactly.
And again.
He was crying and crying. And I said, our first email to this company is going to be, your software has to go back to docking station.
Well, or on the app, it should be find my robot, right?
Right. So he says, "Can we put an air tag on this thing?" I said, "No problem. Yes, we'll 3D print or something to put an air tag on this thing."
But they're not really. Well, I guess the Generation 2 ones are more accurate, but they're not really accurate enough to say much more than it's in this area of the house, right? Or it's somewhere in the house, as opposed to it's here.
Yeah, we cut the bottom of our couch. Like maybe he fell asleep on the couch and it fell in there, and we just messed up our couch. We're like, what the heck is this thing? Like, oh man, what are you gonna do?
Did your wife find out about that yet?
No. It's got some Gorilla duct tape on there.
Someday she'll be going under there and go, what happened to the couch?
So, Senator Glazer Engraving said we were just told to be home before dark. My thing was, we were kids, when the street lights came on, better get your ass home.
Yeah, that was our rule too.
And we didn't have to carry our water bottle with us.
No.
No.
You didn't. You mean you didn't have a gigantic pink Stanley water cup with you all the time?
No, and you did what no kid can do anymore. You drank from the hose, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah. This is a new name to me. You guys recognize his name?
Nope. Welcome, Rob, if it's your first time.
Hey, Steve, you want to take this one?
After years of building my own deltas and Cartesians, I'm ready for a turnkey Prusa Core 1L. Yeah, it's a decent printer. If you want, multicolor, it's a good place to start.
I've been seeing this advertised all over Facebook. I can't remember the brand off the top of my head, but it's like a 4x4 3D printer, full color. They're mostly using them for signs. I thought that
was... it's when you say full color, it's like it looks like things are painted. That kind of color.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's in Kickstarter right now, I think.
Yeah, they're going crazy on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, that thing's going to be $6,000.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah,
and God knows what the running costs are going to be. It looks cool though. Definitely looks cool.
Roger seems a bit tired.
Well, yeah, it's been a long day. I was cooking tonight. I mean, it was what we call assholes and elbows. It was just a wild night tonight, and trying to run the kitchen, and yeah, it was a good night. But yeah, I'm ready for bed.
No nightcap tonight, Roger.
I didn't even have anything to drink tonight. So
okay. I guess the only one I'm drinking Modelo. Modelo, feel free to sponsor us at any point in time. It's a number one
Modelo
beer.
sounds pretty good. I think if I had one of them, I would absolutely be out.
I had a glass of champagne before I came on here tonight.
So last week we talked about filaments, and we were saying that how it was kind of agreed that Bambu filament is hands down good, and it's because for the most part they have all the settings dialed in the machine. You put it, set it, forget it, it's good to go. And that out of convenience, you tend to use other brands just because that you can't buy what's not available, right? Not as if you wouldn't, but you can't buy something that's completely out of stock. I also mentioned how Hobby Lobby, people are posting within 10 minutes, 200 rolls are gone. Lo and behold, right after the live, I get a message from a company who's supposedly in Plainfield, Illinois. And if you buy 20 rolls of film at a time, they sell them for $9 each. And I said, this I gotta see. So I think I'll get us all a set of every primary colors, and we can test it out, see how it works. So
my backup from Beyond Bambu is Sunlu. Of course, Sunlu makes Bambu's filament, but
yeah, I'd say I use almost equal amounts of Sunlu and Bambu.
Yeah, I was using all Crealities when Bambu was in stock, but I was getting upset when they were tangled every now and then, and that bend at the end. And Sunlu doesn't have that problem at all.
Yeah, that's the bend at the end is the only issue I have with Crealities filament. It's pretty good.
Yeah, otherwise the filament itself is great, and they're not all bent like that. Just it's like 50-50 maybe, or maybe 60-40, but they're definitely bent.
Yeah, but you only need one to screw things up.
Yes. Yeah, what just sucks is I set something to print, I go to sleep, and I expect to be done in the morning, and you get that AMS error message, and you're like, damn. Like, so you got to untangle it or whatever, like this should have been done, but now it's not because of this, so.
Yeah, I won't say I've never seen one that was tangled out of the box, but I've seen a couple.
Yeah.
But I haven't noticed any Creality filament that's been like that.
Creality, about halfway through the film, I've noticed that they almost like they were doing like a braiding or something, and it just gets tangled. It's like they underwrapped one loop, so then it starts pushing it this way. Yeah, I've noticed it a couple of rolls.
I've never seen that.
Well, my experience with the Amazon Basics filament was, and I don't use it anymore, I would get halfway through a spool, and there'd be a cross wrap in the middle of the spool. How the hell does that happen?
That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Yeah. It'll say too much tension on the AMS or whatever, and it'll stop it. And you have to pull it out and unwrap it, and then it's fine. But I've noticed that. So. Yeah. 1 minute left in the live, guys.
I haven't had that problem, but yeah, I have seen some filaments cross cross wound on the again about halfway through. I don't know how they could even make that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just weird.
So as Roger and I would call it's called assholing, right, Roger?
Yeah.
No, but they could be assholes. It's how do you take it
No,
a filament that's wrapping and put a cross in it? The only way to do it would be to do like, well, no, you can't even just turn it around or something.
I've run into that, back when I was still working in the trade, we would be pulling wire off of spools and there'd be a cross strap in the middle of it. You're like, how in the hell does this happen?
Yeah, so we call that an asshole.
Yeah. Or a foreman.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't I'm not exactly sure where that came from, but yeah, anyone's in the trades, if you say the cable is asshole, that's exactly what they'll think. There was a wrap in it. But yeah.
There's Jack in the shop. Hey guys.
Better late than never, I guess.
You're just in time to say see ya.
Yeah. So
I'm a little late getting in here too. I had to play Mexican Chef today, and every third Wednesday of the month I'll be doing the same thing. So I'll be a little late on every third Wednesday.
Nice. One quick question before we go here. Skyler, you want to answer this?
Can you use a roundover bit on epoxy? Yes, absolutely. I use roundovers. I use chamfers. They all work well. Just take small bites at a time because you might chip it if not.
Yeah, you got to go slow with the feed, and you can't dive into it too aggressively. But epoxy, you can do pretty much anything in epoxy that you can do in wood.
It does make a mess and has so much statics and it sticks to everything. It makes cleaning up a mess. But
yeah. But one of the things it lets you do is you can do, like you can lay epoxy, then you can engrave out of it, and you can lay more epoxy, and then plane it down to the original surface, and you can get kind of neat effects in it.
I've seen a lady, she was doing epoxy where you pour the epoxy, and then she would let it cure, and then she will hand paint it, but she will just paint the background, and then pour another clear epoxy, and then paint the bear and a tree or something, then put another layer, and then you put something in the foreground, like a bush of flowers or something, and it's like depth, like 3D.
Yeah, you get it like a 3D type thing. Yeah, I've seen that.
I was thinking about doing that with my UV printer. Just print something, put epoxy, print something else.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I've done the UV printing on epoxy, and you can put the top coat and use the torch and pop the bubbles, and it doesn't affect it.
Nice. Do you have to have like a Bob Evans effect and say, this is a pretty little tree right here, a pretty little tree right here? All right, guys, we're at time. I appreciate everyone joining the live. Skyler, thank you for joining us
tonight. Thank you so much for having me. I missed you guys.
Yes, for sure. You're always welcome to join at any time. Skyler, you want to say anything on the closeout?
Nothing really. Thanks everyone for taking the time to come watch the live stream, and have a good rest of the week.
Yeah, and I will see everybody next week. I'll be on time next week.
You'll actually be here next week.
Yeah.
I'll be here next week too, as far as I know.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining.
Right.
See you next week.
Good night.
Carol.
Bye.
Bye.
See y'all.